I've got the plague. So I haven't made a video in a while because last week was my first week actually on the job, and I've also been sick for the past couple days, hence the mask here. When in Japan, do as the Japanese do. Anyway, I wanted this video to be my apartment tour, but it's taken a bit longer to edit that than I was anticipating. So instead, I'm just going to blather on about some of my experiences here thus far. Yay! But because I realized that's not all that interesting, I'm also going to eat more strange Japanese food. As I was in the supermarket yesterday, and I go shopping yesterday, and I saw this out of the corner of my eye. And as you can see, because I know you can all read Japanese, it says, over here, Osakana sausage. And I was like, I know that. I know what that means. It means fish sausage. And it wasn't until I got the damn thing home that I realized that there was also English. And you can see right there, it clearly says fish sausage. So I'm dumb, and I was really proud of my ability to read Japanese unnecessarily. But I digress. I'm gonna eat a fish sausage. I like how there are little directions on the back for how to eat it, right there. Take this out, and then peel this. What the hell strip are they? What the hell strip are they peeling on this? Oh, found it, I'm dumb again. It's right there. That little red strip. God. Why? Oh, why am I having such a hard time with this? I'm gonna get in there with my teeth. The sausage is white. I wasn't expecting that for some reason. By the way, I don't know if you're actually supposed to just eat this raw. Yes, I know what this looks like. I'm just gonna try it. So here we go. Fish sausage. It's not bad. I wish I had some cheese and crackers. I feel like this would be really good in an omelet or something. One of the things I like to do is when I go to the grocery store, just pick something new, even if I don't know what the hell it is, and just try it. And the fish sausage was something new from this latest grocery store run. As you can see from this receipt here, the Osakana sausage. Oh, can you read that? The sausage was 188 yen. And there came in a package of 4. So that's like $1.50. That's dirt cheap. I'm not gonna lie, I was expecting it to taste a lot worse. I'm also drinking green tea today instead of my usual coffee. Green tea! Oh! This video's already taken forever, yeah! So on to the actual meat of this video. It's not the fish sausage. The first thing that absolutely has to be said is that I was, and am still, woefully underprepared to actually engage in a dialogue with Japanese people. And a lot of times I end up just doing the nod and smile, like, yeah, oh yeah, oh no, I got it, yeah, I got it, yeah, whatever you just said, totally, I'm with you. I know that I've made some replies that absolutely made no sense. Like I was in Mito at this place called Mr. Donut, and right in the train station, and the lady behind the counter asked me in Japanese, was it for here or to go? And my response was daijobu, which is it's okay, which is not a good response to that question. And she kind of looked at me and she goes, for here or to go? I was like, so stupid. To go, please. So one of the ways that I cope with this, aside from nodding and smiling, is if I know I'm going somewhere specific, I try to look up sentences and words related to that thing. And I usually have a notebook with me and just write down notes, and half the time I end up like trying to read it but then just point to whatever the kanji is in my notebook. A good example of this is when I went to the drugstore to get some like nasal spray and decongestant and stuff like that. And I had written down hanamizu, which is runny nose. And I went and found an employee there and was like, sumimasen. Point. And that was it. It was like, sumimasen. I have this issue. Another thing I absolutely love to do all the time, whenever practical, is ask, what do you recommend? Which is, osusume wa nan desu ka? Because then it takes the onus off of me to try and read and figure out whatever the hell is going on. And usually whoever the attendant is more than willing to say like, get this, just get this thing. Now this doesn't always work. For example, I went to sort of like a bakery and they sold these like little waffle sandwich things. They were tiny little waffle sandwich things. They were all in katakana, so I could read what it was. But I just went up and was like, oh, osusume wa nan desu ka? And the lady was just like, started laughing and just goes, I recommend any of these waffle things. And I was like, oh great, that's not helpful at all, but thank you, I appreciate it. Another thing that kind of threw me for a loop initially was the train system. Now, Japan has a very, very good train system. I've used subways and such in America and taken stuff like Greyhound and yada yada yada. And I gotta say, the public transportation in Japan is far and away superior, which is sort of unsurprising considering that it's a small country and mass transit is very efficient, whereas, you know, America's a huge country and owning your own car is just super convenient, right? Especially when you have urban sprawl and stuff like that. But the first couple times going on there was definitely a little precarious because you gotta go to these kiosks and you gotta buy a ticket. But you don't say, I want to go here. What you have to do instead is you buy a ticket for a specific amount of money. And so that makes it a little bit confusing initially because you have to look on the boards above to figure out, you know, you are here, this is your destination, and it's going to cost you X amount of money to get there. And I remember one time I thought it was going to cost a certain amount of money to go from point A to point B, and it ended up being more expensive. Now, if it's less expensive, then you just put in your ticket and it eats your ticket and your money's gone. You don't get your money refunded. If it's more expensive, what I found out is I put my ticket in and the gates closed on me and it showed like a big red X and the thing was like, you shall not pass. And of course I was confused as anything because I'm in the moment and I'm like, there's, you know, flashing red lights and all these people are looking at me and I'm like, oh shit, what do I do? And this girl who must have been either a middle school or a high school student or something, she like taps me on the shoulder and she goes like this, which is the Japanese come here. And she's like, she's doing this and she's walking backwards and she takes me over to a little booth with a station attendant and he told me how much money I had to pay it as the difference. I was like so relieved. And I remembered in hindsight after this had happened, like later that night, that someone had told me in initial training that if this happens you just go to the booth or something and you pay the difference. But just in the moment I was so like, I couldn't think of it, and so I don't know what I would have done if this nice girl hadn't come along and like helped me out. Which has really been a common theme with my experience thus far here. It's like I try to make every effort to sort of fit in and do things the Japanese way, but invariably I end up screwing something up. And you know, it's really to be expected. But I try to be very polite. And I always try to let people know that, you know, I'm thankful and I'm going to try and work with them however I can. And I've been the beneficiary of people's kindness on more than one occasion. One of the things I like to do is, you know, make sort of a joke about my inability to speak Japanese. And I always say, Ima, Nihongo ga heta desu, which one of the trainers taught me. And it basically means right now my Japanese is not good. It's unskillful. And I feel like saying something like I don't understand Japanese or I don't speak Japanese shuts the conversation down, right? So instead saying something like I'm sorry, I'm not good at Japanese, but you know, ganbatte. Let's do our best. Saying I'm not good at Japanese is a much more effective way of continuing the conversation, because then you can usually use a combination of like gestures and pointing and, you know, the smartphone dictionary to get what you need or what you want. You do enough little things and people just assume that you're a normal human being, which at the end of the day, I think is the goal. So, you know, while I'd rather be someone who can talk fluently and really express my ideas and stuff like that, I'm content for the moment, whilst my Japanese is terrible, to just come across as the nice person who is kind of like a lost puppy dog. If you try and be nice, people look upon that favorably and they're more likely to sort of reciprocate that niceness and help you out. And I think the moral of the story here is fake it till you make it, be nice, show that you're willing to put in some effort to like learn and be a part of the culture, and people will in general sort of treat you well. So that's it for me. I gotta go blow my nose and eat some real food because fish sausage doesn't count as a meal, unfortunately. So until next time, bye-bye! You fish sausage, just. Is this it? What the hell is this thing? Jesus. Why am I such an idiot?